Today it's so beautiful weather, so I decided that it's time to go to our forest. That quotation, it's for forest, not for our. Because as you probably already saw, there is there are not many trees inside. But already there are some trees that were actually laid down or something like that. Strong wind forced them to lay down, so they are laying there. And I was thinking that it would be actually quite a good idea to chop them in small pieces, like 1 meter pieces, and pile them there and let them slowly dry. Because the longer they have to dry, higher chance will be that they might be ready this year. Eventually I will split them, but first let's just go there, cut it into 1 meter pieces, and yeah, why not, right? It's there. Unfortunately, we don't have any chainsaw. I have a few hand saws here, but nah. So I'm taking the least, or the axes that seem to be still in a so good condition that they might work. I'm not taking just the one with me because the handles are in a sort of might break after first hit condition right now, so I'm taking more of them with me. Also the file, if I will need to do the emergency sharpening. I know that that's not gonna be approved by anybody, but come on, those axes are in fairly desperate condition right now, so if I will need to sharpen them with a file, yeah, there are better ways, but you know, sometimes you have to deal with whatever you have. So I'm going to put everything in my backpack. I have some water with me, first aid kit, that's very important actually, safety goggles, tape meter, water, bike, that's it. So let's go. So I arrived, I'm living by here, I use the lock. Yeah, and this is there is a road actually. There is one cool thing, it seems that previous owner, or maybe the logging company that was actually harvesting the wood here, they created sort of a access path to this property, and that should belong to the property, so that's super cool. So in the future, if I will want to get here with a car or vehicle, if I will clear the path here, I will be able to access it directly from a road at the beginning of the property. That's super cool. So now, as you can see, this part around me, this is a still forest, and I think that it goes another 50 meters slightly, and all of it's birch. Everything around me, most of it belongs to the property. So that's cool. It's pity that it's not all forest all the way there, but yeah, it is what it is, I guess. So right now I entered the part of the property that was, as you can see, harvested. It goes all the way back there to those trees, evergreen trees back there, and that's where my forest, or where my trees still are. And so most of the property, it's treeless. And here what I'm going to do, actually, as you can see, there are quite a few trees fallen on the ground like that. You can see more there. Here's another one. Those trees I would like to chop and essentially, or eventually, use like a firewood. So yeah, next thing I would like to ask you, what shall I do with this property, to be honest? Because let's be honest, for firewood, somebody was faster than me. I will definitely plant more trees here. By planting, I mean like already quite a few trees are growing here, so I would just distance them from each other. Also on a property close to house, there are quite a few small trees already growing, so instead of just cutting them, I was thinking that we'll just dig them out and eventually transport them here so they could grow here. But even though that's gonna take years for trees to grow, so I was thinking, what if meanwhile somewhere here I would just build 2, 3, maybe 4 smaller or bigger greenhouses to actually grow vegetable here meanwhile. Like why not? What else can I do with this property? That's something I would like to ask you. Definitely let me know, what do you think that I should do with it? What do you think about that idea of having some greenhouses, or greenhouses like made out of the foil here to grow the the vegetable. Regards the water, that shouldn't be huge problem. Firstly, if it would be very, very dry, I can just drive with a car, bring water, or also I can just leave some 1,000-liter tank here and gather it. But mainly there's among the trees there's like a very, very small stream, so I can be taking water there, so that wouldn't be problem. So, or how shall I actually maintain this land? Because I have honestly no idea. I definitely want to chop those trees that have fallen. Might be better to leave it to the ground, but let's be honest, there's quite a lot on the ground as well. Also, what I was thinking, what if I would cut those stumps a bit shorter, because that's at least one log to burn. Maybe there was a reason why it's a chop this way, because yeah, to leave something to earth. Not sure. Definitely let me know what do you think about my greenhouse idea. What shall I do with this property? Maybe how shall I maintain it? Like yeah, I am a bit lost here, but yeah, more than happy to read your comments. So okay, so I picked my first victim, this one. As you can see, it was normal tree growing, but probably because of the wind it got down. So as I mentioned, I will basically mark it, do the 1 meter pieces, cut it, and then eventually let it here to dry. I will of course pile it, but probably for today I will just cut it. And then I can pick few more, I guess, based how it's looking here. Yeah, so let's do it. So I have to say that chopping trees with an axe, it's fairly physically demanding work. Probably it would be a bit different if I would have a bigger axe than this. It's really like a size of my palm, so yeah. Also, if the axe would be heavier, I think that it would cost me way less effort. Also, the longer handles, oh, probably the list could go on and on and on. Those axes I took with me, I know that probably they are not for chopping trees, I guess, but it's all I got at the moment, and as I said, nice day, why not, you know, what could go wrong? So I have chopped 2.5 trees. I stuck them in 2 piles, and first I put one trunk on the ground, or 2 trunks on the ground, and the rest I put across it, so basically it's elevated from the ground and it's not laying in a puddles, so that might help with a drying. Also, some of the thicker trunks would be better to split in half so it dries faster, but yeah, there's gonna be quite a lot of a time. So what happened? I basically broke 3 axes. First victim of my crime was the axe on which basically the head flew off. I found it, secured it again with a wedge, and it was fine. Then I was using it here, and eventually the axe head flew away somewhere. I can't find it. I spent like 20 minutes searching and trying to find it, so I just marked the spot on the trunk. I cut sort of like a upside down T in a trunk, and in a hope that when it melts all the snow around, I will try to find it again, because I cannot live with the idea that I will leave one axe head behind. So that's the first one. Then in the middle of the chopping, I actually then split the handle in half. I didn't hit the handle, it just cracked. Yeah, probably very old, everything. But yeah, that's that. And the last axe I have, it's so blunt that my body is getting so sore, so I probably will give up. Today, I think the 2.5 trees, you know, out of the blue, without any previous experience. I mean, like my body is not used to this work, so yeah, I can feel quite a lot of muscles I didn't know that I have. So yeah, I think that this is a quite successful day. One thing I was thinking about the whole time I was chopping the trees, I should probably invest in an axe. And let's be honest, if I will want to split something bigger than I did today, it would be actually good to get a sort of like a metal wedges. You you use with a big hammer to actually split big trunks. So that would be good investment for me, and definitely some bigger axe with which I can be chopping down the trees. You might be also asking, why wouldn't I buy a chainsaw? Let's be honest, a chainsaw would be probably bigger investment right now than an axe. Regards the splitting wedges, I will need them either or if I would have a chainsaw or not, so that's no brainer. But the chainsaw also would run on a petrol. Chain is necessary, even though I know how to sharpen the chain with a file. It would not there would be still cost regards the petrol. It's loud, and let's be honest, there is something fairly satisfying with, at least for me, regards the physical work. This year I think that the chainsaw wouldn't be good investment, so I will probably stick to just manual, physical, demanding work with an axe. And to be honest, it's sort of I'm enjoying it, even though my body will be sore as a hell. I really always enjoy hard work, physical hard work, and nothing has changed since I was a kid. So I just want to do it. So yeah, I will definitely have to do some research regards the axes and the wedges, as I said. Maybe if you have some experience, please let me know down in the comments. I will be more than happy to receive some reviews or suggestion, so I can go straight away for something that might be actually worth to purchase. So yeah, look at this one. This one is proper one, so this one definitely would require bigger axe, and definitely I would need to split it in half, otherwise I wouldn't be able to carry it. That certainly could have at least close to 30 centimeters in diameter, so wow. So right now I'm in a corner of the property. So from here, from this corner, there's a trench, and then the blue ribbon, and that goes all the way there. And from here to those evergreen trees, like let's say from me right now it's probably 60-70 meters, probably slightly more this way, and all the strip down there. So that's the forest I have. What I'm thinking here now, when I'm just checking how is it looking here, so you can see that straight line here, it's like a property, between a property like a line, and this way, if I would continue, there is a path that goes then to the house. So what I was thinking eventually, when the snow is gone, I would like to try to walk this way and figure it out if then the transportation of the wood would be easier for me this way. Because let's be honest, if that path is reasonable and I would be able to push a wheelbarrow there, so every day if I would come here just to pick up a few logs and then take it home, you know, it's not so far away. This way it would be just maybe 1.5 kilometers, so that doesn't seem to be so far, so bad. So I might have actually very eco-friendly and money-friendly way how to get the wood I'm going to harvest here home. So that's something I have to consider. So yeah, something I have to think about. Okay, it's gonna be time to go. Let's be honest, I have rain boots on me. That wouldn't be a problem, but the problem is that it's warm. I was sweating, so my feet got sweaty as well, and all that walking in the snow actually kind of chilled out my feet right now. So the sweat inside of my rain boot, it's super cold, and my toes and feet are super cold. So it's probably time to pack everything and cycle back. Anyway, I got all the knowledge and information I wanted, so maybe it's time for some axe research. So since yesterday I went down the rabbit hole regards the axes and splitting axes, and oh boy, there are so many types of axes for different purposes. There are different requirements for it. long story short, I know that I want to have a forest axe, something for a logging. So I want a heavy, big axe to actually fell down trees and chop down the trunks. That's the must-have. Also, I know that I want a splitting axe. I somehow figure it out, or the advice is how to choose the length of the handle. So I will go for the handle that will be 81 centimeters. At least it seems to be that it might be comfortable for me, and it's almost twice of the length of the handles I had. Oh, I think that some of them were 60, but another 20 centimeters, it will add a lot. So then, next obvious choice is between should I go for something that will do all I want and it's gonna be cheaper, or something that will do also all I want but it's gonna be expensive. Now it doesn't make sense, but if I would add to those two sides, cheap and expensive, more like a cheap, I wouldn't enjoy to handle or work with it so much, or expensive, I would definitely enjoy to work with it. What I mean, like I can buy for half of the price of the expensive stuff Fiskars. I can buy their splitting axe and their forest or logging axe, no problem. It would be somewhere around probably 100 euros, so it's not such a big deal. But if I would go for something more expensive, like here in Sweden there are companies that are actually making axes, so come on, who wouldn't want to have an axe, like not just okay, I wanted to say mass produce, but that company is making axes, so it's gonna be cool. So who wouldn't want to have an axe from, like a proper axe? I don't know how to explain it, I'm just so excited about it. So either I will buy something from a Fiskar, it will do all I want, but I'm not very excited about it. Or I will get a proper axe with a wooden handle and with a very, very long warranty for the axe head, but for the double of the price. What I mean by it, it's like around 200 euros a piece. So with a Fiskars, it would cost me splitting axe and axe around 200 euros. But if I will want to have something better, more expensive, it will be around 200 a piece, so 400 euros. I can tell you straight away that I'm a bit more tempted to go for the actually more expensive stuff. There is one thing you might notice, that regards to something I might be very cheap, I don't want to spend much of money for, but regards the tools, I learned my lesson. There was nothing like a good cheap tool. You can have an old tool that was sold for a cheap money because previous owner didn't know its value, but there is nothing like a cheap good tool, in my opinion, of course. So what I mean by that, from previous experiences, for example, if I would want to get a pliers and go to the shop, I wouldn't look at any brands, I would just go straight away for Knipex. I know that it fits perfectly, it will do exactly what it's meant to be doing, and there will be no issues with it. It's a good material and it will last very long, and it's just good. So regards to some things, I already learned my lesson, because sometimes it's just better to pay a bit more and have something that will last, if is it taken care of, for the rest of your life, than to buy something cheap and eventually either it will not do what you want, or it will not be comfortable, or many things, and you will have to buy anyway something else, so you will pay for one thing twice. So learn my lesson. So regards the axes, I'm also more tempted to go for more expensive one, not because I will just enjoy it. I need to enjoy work. I really love working, but if I don't enjoy the tools I'm working with, I can't enjoy the work. I might be a bit decided regards the axes, but definitely let me know down in the comments what do you think. Would you rather go for a Fiskars, something like or cheaper brand than actually Fiskars, some no name, or would you rather pay a bit more and have something that in theory might last you for the rest of your life if is it taken care of, or if you maintain it. So let me know in the comments. Next thing, I was a bit worried because of my previous experience. I already once cut myself here. There was like a little scar. Might not be visible, but I once already cut myself with an axe. Yeah, it deflected and yeah, Stupid me. So that got me thinking, if I am planning to buy a new, big, heavy, very sharp axe, shouldn't I get also some protective gears? Because let's be honest, one swing might cost me my leg. I know a bit about the axe handling, but let's be honest, you can, even master could cut themselves. It just could happen, you know, random chance could happen. I'm not saying that I'm master, not at all, but I'm cautious. But even cautious doesn't mean that that's gonna protect me. So what I was thinking, maybe to get some shin guards or something like that, but there is a problem. You can find plenty like safety protective gears for chainsaw handling, like I think that they call it chops or something like that. So it's basically material that goes over your trousers, and in theory, well, as I understand it, if the chainsaw grabs that material, it will basically stop the chain because it will wrap around it, so it should not let it go spinning into your flesh. So, but for axes, there is not such a thing like that. I found quite a lot of like shin protectors and foot protectors for hedge trimmers, but it's protecting just against that string that's spinning there and against the deflected stones. Nothing for axes. So what I was thinking, because I can't find something, I might actually purchase just some shin and knee guards for a motocross or for a dirt bike, and combine it with a protective chucks for the chainsaw. So I would have a two protection, basically hard shell from some sort of a plastic guard for a motocross, at least something, and with a cut-proof fabric on the top of that. I don't know, if you know something about protective gear for axe logging or cutting the trees, please let me know down in the comments. Maybe express your opinion about my idea to combine two non-related protective gears for something that involves axe. Who knows, but you know, when there is nothing, sometimes it's necessary to improvise. But I will be more than happy to receive all your opinions or advices, so please definitely let me know down in the comments. And that's gonna be all from me for today. So I will probably continue down the rabbit hole regards the axes and protective gears, and I will see you in the next video.